Boom, hello, and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. This is the #1 podcast in the executive protection game, and this is the largest free real-world library of executive protection content in existence. So sit back, relax, dig in, and enjoy the show. While we honor the slogan that executive protection is more than just a job, ladies and gentlemen, it really is a lifestyle. Boom.
Woohoo! Hey guys. Welcome. Come on in. I am, part of what we do is we got to be able to audible, man. We got to be able to. And I am sitting here doing some audibles, man. I guess Zoom just wasn't able to handle. I think we overloaded the system. So saw some things I'd never seen before with Zoom, where it just was like, it basically was like, I can't see your camera, and it wasn't letting me in. But we're here now, so this is going to be good. I'm going to get my presentation all dialed in for you guys so we can kick this party off and start talking about what it is to be an EP specialist as people funnel in. Share my screen. Boom. Awesome. There is the presentation. It's about to go down. Got a little intro video for you guys as the party gets started.
Last we spoke, I think I was driving in the car doing another detail, and now I got a new detail. Byron, it's so crazy to just say this. I mean, I had to turn down work for the first time.
How long did it take? Like, how long since you were like, all right, I'm gonna do this?
I did the class in October with you. I mean, it took like a few months. Just took a few months. I remember the first call. I think we talked about it. We're like, I don't even know if EP is for me. I don't even know if I can even do this because I'm a new dad. I got to be home, take care of the baby. I literally, like you and Rick said, I found a detail with really solid guys with a detail that's lasted a very long time. I got integrated on the team. And it's just fantastic. You guys talk about the amount of finances you can make. Mm-hmm. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's not to boast, to just be a testimony of just putting in the work and networking and all that stuff. Thank God I am now in 6 figures. And I have a schedule where I can be home, my family for like 4 days. I can't even ask for anything better. I mean, it just blows my mind how quickly like this happened. I don't know who else is listening, but I was listening. I got you. Byron does podcasts, if you didn't know, with various people and different podcasts. And you're talking about like social dynamics and how, of course, we need the hard skills. Of course, we need to present ourselves well. But social dynamics today, like on my detail today, saved me.
For everyone, I just got back from the hard skills about 2 weeks ago. That was life changing. So I had an awful lot of fun with Damon out there. Anyway, yeah, and after that course, you won't worry about your driving skills. Let me just, you won't have to worry about that anymore. So you'll have that all locked on and you'll be missing it. That's the thing where I'm at now is like, Byron, how do you get to go out there and play all the time? Right. I had a great time at that course. Like I said, for me, it was life changing. I did the Marine Corps, got out, had family, and it was like coming home in a lot of ways. Like, oh, I'm a man. I can do this stuff. I want to do this stuff. I'd like to do this all the time.
Yeah, I just got off at an 8-day detail and worked 114 hours. Rolling. Me and Mo was on the team. It was great to work with my son.
That's got to be beautiful.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. They emailed us today and said they want to see us again. And we told them about you, Byron. We said we was trained and we're mentored by Bravo Research Group, Byron Rodgers, and they love it. Hey, we told them all about the Trinity program, hard skills, Immersion course. I was working side by side with the head of security for these families, and he goes, I'm gonna look at it. I'm like, you won't be making a mistake. Send your guys.
Guys are prior military guys. They were open when we started the detail, saying that, like, the only EPS experience they had was doing PSD work.
Yep.
But they really just got thrown in with this family, and coming to Chicago for 8 days was their first movement, first time ever, like with both clients.
Okay.
And so they were constantly picking me and my dad and everybody else's brains about, how do motorcades work? How do we, to help you guys now, like, navigate running your own detail? Because me and my dad don't have that experience, but Byron does, and he can help you further because you guys got thrown literally into the fire.
Guys, just do what Byron does. He gives you what you give, see what he sees, and people will gravitate to you once you're approachable, professional, polite, and apply all the skills. You're going to come to you.
I graduated the training day almost about a month ago.
Outstanding, man. What'd you think about it?
It was great. It was everything, all the reviews, the video testimonies I've seen. It was everything that they say when it comes to the modules, when it comes to the social dynamics, comes to the advanced work. Yeah, everything super informative. Everything I feel that I need.
Question for you guys. So I'm expanding quicker than I want to be realistic. How do you guys manage quality control with growth?
The real metric to chase, like the real thing to chase, is culture. Does the guy have the background, and does he have the values? And I can teach anyone. When they start doing their calls for different details and stuff, I can teach anyone tactics, but the character is what I'm really going after. And then also there's a few layers to bringing them on, like if you're running your normal background checks, that's great. But like that social media, like when you run your open source intelligence, that's a really good place to assess for personality.
Yo, team, if you've been enjoying that clip, I want to encourage you to join us for the full episode of the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, the most listened to podcast in the executive protection industry. We're on all major podcast playing platforms.
All right. Boom. All right, you guys, can you see me? We're up. Audibles have been made. Tings have been done. I'm going to put this right here. Beautiful. So welcome, without any further ado, to this presentation on what it is to be an executive protection specialist. I'm going to run through this. We've got so much stuff. I'm going to try to get you guys here during this presentation. And then I'm going to open up the floor to anyone and everyone who wants to hop on and be on the call. All right. Who is this for? Just jumping straight into it. This is for, forgive me, I'm going to be admitting people into this thing as we go. This is for anybody who is wanting to get into the executive protection game, right? Right now is the best time that I've ever seen to get into this industry. When I started in this game, it was kind of like you better know a guy. And once you get on a detail, it may or may not happen ever again. But right now is the best time to get into this game. So this information is for people who want to get into the game in a powerful way, who want to, skip, go, collect their $200 and get to the higher levels of the game very quickly. This is also for people who have been in the industry for a long time. And this is you guys have been on any of my previous presentations. This is not them. This is something completely different. And this information is for professionals who want to be seen as elite executive protection specialists. If you like, private security is amazing. Private security is monstrous. There's so many different ways and types of private security. But for those who want to protect other human beings and want to do executive protection, that is who this information is for, right? And we'll get into the finer inner workings of that. But what we've done here is we've created some things that, for the last 2.5 years, we've created some things that are just really proving themselves out in the marketplace. So who am I? Byron Rodgers, for those of you who aren't familiar with the sound of my voice, I'm the guy spamming you guys with protection videos all the time, right? I think we're literally over 2,000 videos right now on all social media platforms, all things protection, civilian protection, executive protection, all things protection. I'm that guy. For others who maybe haven't seen or heard those things, a little bit more about my background. I am a United States Marine. Now, while I was born in the Bahamas, grew up in Washington State. I'm a United States Marine, 0351, anti-tank assaultman, 3-1 Lima Company weapons platoon. For all the researchers out there, right? The years 04 to 08. Then I got into executive protection about 3 months before I got out of the Marine Corps. I was in Israel. I was the guy paying off other Marines while I was processing out to take my post so I could go do EP ops. I was like in Israel a month or so before I got out. I got into this industry by the grace of God, right time, right place, right relationships, sitting there asking my Heavenly Father what to do. He literally told me, go to a bar, start bouncing. You're going to become a bodyguard. You're going to travel the world. Literally, that's what happened. Walked into my living room, saw my girl at the time. I was like, I know what I'm going to do. And she was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to become a bodyguard. I'm going to travel the world. And she looked at me like, bruh. And sure enough, 3 months later, some random dude who's one of my best friends named Luke Agajanian, who you'll see in my content, said, hey, let's have him do it. Called me over the table, said, you're a Marine? I said, yep. He said, you got combat experience? I said, yep. He said, do you getting out of the Marine Corps soon? I said, yep. He said, go get these 2 permits and I'll show you how to make a lot more money doing what you're doing. I blink and I'm on a job interview on Rodeo Drive in the back of a Bentley, scared to put my feet down on the ground because the floor of the Bentley is like this mink, and I'm thinking someone like left their jacket on the ground. So I'm trying to be, just out of my element. I blink again. We hit 60 plus countries that first year. It was a religious client, a speaker. So it wasn't like most guys in the game, you get on tour with a big A-lister and it's like, yo, we're on tour. We're going to hit this part of the world. No, that was not how I grew up in this game. My mission was, hey, we need to get this message out. We need to spread the gospel literally every single time we have enough money. We're going to continue getting the word out and going to churches all over the world. So, everything from the most luxurious places to some of the darkest places in the world. We got to go, and we hit 60 plus countries that year. We traveled more than the president and the Secret Service that year. I lived that life with that client for 7 years straight, right? So I grew up in dog years in this game. I was 21, started this game. I started doing executive protection when I was 21 years old in 2008, right? So this is literally the only thing I've done with my life is Marine Corps executive protection. That is my entire professional career and experience. After a little while of doing that, working with that client, I wanted to live a somewhat of a more normal life. So I clicked off with that client and I went down to the East Coast, which was my first attempt at starting my own company. And also I wanted to start to try to build my books and get a change of environment and start to live a more normal life, be closer to my father, things like that. Ended up doing that. I started out bouncing again. By the grace of God, fought my way back up to some of the highest levels in executive protection on the East Coast. So I was able to successfully infiltrate the industry and build my career 2 times, once on either coast. That becomes significant. So you guys understand that I know what I'm talking about. So then I got into domestic security contracting, got on with 5, 6 different companies, 7 companies, started chasing the pager, working for all the different companies in the game, and gaining experience working different client demographics, right? There's some of the stuff that a lot of you guys are doing. So learn that game as well. And what is most significant, I think, about who I am and what I want to contribute to the world is the reality that through these brands that you see before you, the little blue one, Bravo Research Group, my personal full service private security company, we're primarily in California, Southern California, but primarily in California. We're also in the process of getting licensed in Texas and in Florida and possibly another state that I'll talk about once things get consummated a little bit more. But what I do is I create opportunities, man. I started the most listened to executive protection podcast in this industry called the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, right? That podcast has gotten tremendous respect. There are certain courses you can take where you get college credits for doing book reports on certain episodes of that podcast. It is the most listened to podcast in the space and that brand. A lot of you guys came to me through our social media platform, which is the first social media platform only for executive protection professionals. So I'm just here to make massive contributions. I was told not to start my podcast by everyone who loved me, and I did it anyway because I was like, you know what? I don't need like there was no information in the space. So I was able to build this empire on social media, not because I'm that cool, but because I was the first one, really the first one to do it, because everyone else was kind of playing their information close to the chest and they weren't sharing. And then we get into the next emblem over, the League of Executive Protection Specialists. That's my executive protection school. You'll learn all about that on this call. And what I'm most proud about is the testimonials and is guys being able to look me in the eyes and say, hey, man, because of you, my life is different. My future is different. I have the job of my dreams. As you guys heard, those of you who were on time and heard the intro video, it's awesome when I'm putting together a presentation like this. And the biggest problem I have is which testimonials am I going to share with you guys? Because there are so many testimonials, right? I got a 14-minute testimonial reel that, just of people being like, man, you really helped me have the career I want. You changed my life. I can feed my family, had the best career of my life after selling my truck, things like that. So just to attend these courses. So we're not messing around here. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the baddest, I'm not the best, but one of the things that I've been able to focus on is getting guys into this game and getting guys into having successful careers, guys and girls. We have girls also into having successful careers in the industry. That is something that I love that we've been able to achieve. All right, what we're going to cover, situation, mission, EP specialist definition, education, pipeline, how I can help you. And then we're going to get into the opportunity. You guys are going to get an opportunity to join the League of Executive Protection Specialists. We are the golden standard in the industry. That's what we like to call ourselves, but that's also how we like to train, man. So this isn't like a lot of my previous presentations where I give a lot of teaching and information away. This presentation specifically is for people who want to take their careers to the next level through superior training, networking, mentorship, and marketing tactics, right? Something the industry has not seen before. So if you're looking for a handout, this is for all the hitters, man. All right, so situation, who are the real specialists, right? So as I've been conducting executive protection operations, hiring, firing, moving through the game, I hear people spout off this, I'm an executive protection specialist thing. I don't have a patent on the term, but what I would like to do is really, really define who are the executive protection specialists. The situation in the industry is that people are using this term very loosely, and it's losing kind of its power. It's losing its authority, right? I've got a number of people that I see sometimes and I look at their training jacket and they're like, yeah, I'm an executive protection specialist. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really say that here, so I want to really help quantify that, right? Mission here, formalize the term EP specialist so that professionals who bear the name can be honored and given higher quality opportunities, right? So I would like to create a situation in the industry, and I believe I can. I've been able to impact the industry by the things that we've done at the league and all the different ways that we have been able to impact the industry. Create a situation that when you use the term EP specialist, it actually means something, and it actually it can gain you access to things you would not previously have, right? And personally, I think it should be one of those things where people should say, this guy's got a doctorate in executive protection specifically. He's not just a private security professional, which is not just, I'm not saying that being a private security professional is a less than situation. I tell you, in a lot of cases, I'd rather protect places and things than people, if I'm being completely honest with you. But when it comes to protecting people, I find that it's a more sophisticated operation for a number of reasons. And I think that different training and more training should go into it for that reason. And those who go through that pipeline should be honored for doing so, because it should warrant a higher level of access. So what is an EP specialist really, right? When we think about a specialist and we think about a generalist, what are the primary differences? You've got a general practitioner, doctor, right? This person gets paid well, does good work. The world needs them. We love them. They help us with all our things, our boo-boos, our stomach aches, our headaches, the weird thing that you don't know what it is, the general practitioner, all those Marines that went and woke their corpsman up in the middle of the night and asked them to come look at something. You know who you are. You know who you are. Those guys, you got to have your general practitioners. You got to have your general practitioner doctors. But a specialist is, say a brain surgeon, right? He only gets called for specific things. And the rest of the time, he's generally on his boat, golfing, or doing whatever else it is he wants to do. When he steps into the office, what happens? He gets paid more. He works less hours, but he does specifically one thing and one thing only. And that's what it is to be a specialist, right? Versus a generalist. So as we bear into, I don't want to skip on you guys. As we bear into these terms, let's just dig in a little bit. EP specialist training pipeline, course competencies. So a lot of people are running around saying that they are, thanks, Mark, that they are EP specialists. And special treat, we've got Rick Sweeney on the line. So he's going to come in here in a second and help you guys out with some of this stuff as we get down range here. But EP specialists, if you're going to be a specialist, you've got to be able to master the things that would make you a specialist, right? When it comes to executive protection, there are core competencies that are generally separated into two different columns, right? You've got your hard skills and you've got your soft skills. Okay. If you're only training your soft skills, then you're not a specialist because you're not ahead of the game with regards to the full spectrum of what it is to be an executive protection, even professional, right? If you're only training your hard skills, well, you're going to have a really hard time in this game because hard skills may save lives, but soft skills keep you in the game and they get you paid, right? So core competencies. Risk assessments, right? Do you understand how to assess risk, both formally as with regards to developing documentation, and do you also understand how to assess risk on the move, right? Advanced work. Let Max us in here. Bam. Advanced work. Boom. The advanced work component is something that I see a lot of guys shy away from because they haven't had formal training, and I also see it as a superpower. In this game because a lot of guys shy away from it. It's the schoolboy stuff in this industry that really can help you stand out, right? So advanced work, and it is also the component that makes your detail run smoothly. A lot of guys in this game will just wing it and just show up places, and you would be blown away at the conversations I'm having with clients and agents where they're just like, you mean like they just don't know about this stuff? So you must master risk assessments, advanced work, medical, right? Medical, I would say medical and driving would be your two hard skills that you have the highest probability of using. Someone around you could start choking on their spaghetti right now, right? You could end up in a car accident, one of the top leading causes of death, car accident, which could integrate both of those skill sets long before you end up in a firefight, right? Hopefully. But medical is another one that guys really neglect. You should have a high level of medical training. Firearms training. Yes, firearms training is huge. I do get some people that give us pushback on it. But the reality is we just saw Joel Osteen's church get shot up just yesterday. There's an EP team there. There's there's a lot of people sometimes that say, like, well, if your plan's good, then you won't need to use a firearm. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, I mean, I just don't have a crystal ball, I just don't have one, so you should understand force multipliers, right? How can you make sure if they have it, you can have it. If you can have a tactical advantage, you can use it. Now, of course, going overseas in certain places, you will not be able to carry, and you better know your soft skills. And you also better, understand how to get certain assets in place that might have those hard skills, tools, and whatnot. But there's an ology to doing all of these different things. So firearms, you got to understand how to use your force multipliers. Driving, of course, that goes without saying. That's most of what we do with our clients, having a high level of driving training. Social dynamics, hard skills may save lives. Soft skills, ladies and gentlemen, keep you in the game and get you paid. It is one of the most important things for you to have. Social dynamics of executive protection. I would say of all the courses that I've taught and of all the things that I've done, I would say that the one course and module I get the most feedback, that makes people the most money, that gets them on details the most, is the social dynamics of executive protection portion, which is all about it's the success. It's how you succeed in this game. Career development. I think an executive protection specialist should understand how to package himself, should understand how to present himself digitally, on paper, socially, with all those different things. And then operational knowledge, right? This is understanding how to run a detail, the ins, the outs of the detail, how to run that residence, how to do those things. This is really and truly what it takes to be an executive protection specialist. If you don't have training on all these things, I think that it's really something that is a term you're still working towards, and there's nothing wrong with that. So real quick, boom, let's keep rolling. We're about to get into the course content that we have. That is really what it takes to be an executive protection specialist. But real quick, I want to pop in here and I want to just see a quick, I don't know if you guys know how to do the show of hands thing. Okay, so just by show of hands, who's gone through training day? Show of hands, who here has gone through the hard skills course? Got the marks in the house, man. Got the marks in the house. Look at these dudes. Okay. You've gone through it, Greg. I see you over there, George. All right. By show of hands, who's gone through the immersion course so far? Okay, that one even less. Good to go. Awesome. All right, let me get back in here. I see the comments are starting. And if you guys do have comments, please, by all means, continue pushing those over in the chat. And then we have Rick Sweeney over there in the chat as well. Hey, Rick, real quick, you want to hop on here and say something to him? Let him know kind of your thoughts on what I'm saying.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Good to see some of you guys. We got Ike, the Marks, we got Mr. Circo there. We got junior, senior, outstanding. I'm lucky to see you guys again. That's outstanding. Yeah, man. So for you guys that don't know, basically this is just an all-inclusive one-stop shop. You guys have been through hard skills. You know what that's all about. You guys that have not, it's a really high level of hard skills training. Everybody that comes out, government, OGA, personnel included, are like, hey, we don't even get this, as far as driving and things like that. And that's what the goal was, to bring it to a level higher than even our GRS guys are getting. And we've done that. And so now we've married it with that immersion course. So now we get to slow it down and give you hey, how do we really do a detail? And we're not sitting in a classroom on this one. We did have a couple of days classroom. It was a 6-day program before, but we knocked out those 2 days, gave you some online content. And now we just, in a 4-day package, you're running. That's it. You're doing advances or you're doing details. And we squeeze 3 details in, including 1 overnight detail. And we do this in Southern California. Your first pickup is LAX Airport. We drop you in feet first. And we've been doing this one for years at Sec4. And we do that because we know that if you can handle that and figure that out, then you're going to be pretty good on detail. And that was the whole point. So now we kill you with the hard skills, and then we kill you with the soft skills. By the time you're kind of spit out the end of that thing, you're a complete agent. And then we decided to throw in some of the online courses as well. Byron's training day, if you haven't already had it, we'll throw that in. The church security. I throw in my route mapping for those of you who want to work high risk outside the borders. We're always mapping our details using what we can get for free online to map these things. We've got a whole 11-hour online course on that. And everything all packaged together is pretty much a complete EP specialist. And that is why we decided to call it that, because that's basically what you are. We've been to a lot of courses ourselves, good courses, but there was always something missing. And I think one of the main things in the soft skills department was I've been sitting in a classroom for 4 days. I did a 3-hour graduation exercise. I really don't know how to do a detail yet. So that's why we do it a little bit differently. You're just doing details. Here's your mission package, go. But what's good about that is you're under the guidance of an experienced professional who's currently working, not 15 years ago, not 10 years ago, not once a year, but currently working. When we're not in the classroom, we're out on detail. As Byron knows, all the trials and tribulations we've been going through this year already outside the country. But yeah, so that's my take on it. It's really a one-stop shop, all crammed down your throat in 12 days. And you don't need to come back for training after that. Yeah, you're going to come back and do your sustainment training. But what I'm saying is you're ready to go. We would definitely hire you after this one. That's why you're going onto our roster once you complete this whole thing, because we know that you know how to do it after you've completed successfully this whole package.
And we're going to get into the inner workings of that package right now. So, boom, as we keep going here, we've got the EP specialist. This is, how do we end up at master's class? Oh, we're doing some dances here. Okay, sweet. So, all right, boom. So this is the EP specialist training day. We talked about that a little bit. That is everything that I know about executive protection. That course is a course that many of us have taken already. And that course is, let's see here. That course is a course that basically is 100% online, comes out to about 1K. And I'm just going to pop back here for this. And essentially, if you're looking for a course that you can take where you're at and you can begin to really get into the game and get access to what makes some of the things that make our school special, which is the trifecta, which we'll talk a little bit more about, which is mentorship, networking, and training, right? You can go on ahead and you can take that online course. The Training Day Success Package, I'm telling you guys, it's not just the training, but it's also career development. So a few things that we focus on there that are different than for sure any online course. I think this was the first online course I've ever come in contact with. But what makes it special is the fact that we focus on career development, right? So you'll learn how to rewrite your resume. You will learn how to rewrite your LinkedIn. You will learn about the social dynamics of executive protection, how to manage the different spheres of relationships. You'll learn about integrating with the different teams in an executive protection team, the venue team, the movement team, motorcades, all those different things. You will learn kind of everything that I knew at that point in executive protection I give to you, along with all the cheat codes for career development. You take it online at your own pace, but then also you become part of the league, part of the brotherhood. You get access to both of those Zoom meetings per month that I do that are just like this, essentially, where I answer people's questions. You guys saw in the videos in the beginning of this, you guys saw a lot of what we do in those Zoom meetings, and then you get access to special job call-outs and things like that. So Training Day is the first level of the EP specialist certificate course, because it's everything that I know about executive protection, and plus all the different add-ons within what we do here at the league. The next piece is the master's class, right? Actually, I think, anyways, the master's class. So the master's class is essentially everything that, not just me, but it's everything that I believe that we need to understand about higher levels of different components of executive protection. And that is taught by multiple different SMEs. This is not a certificate course. whereas this is access to a library because learning is continuous. We've got multiple modules that are still going to be dropping this year, and I will continue building this library from now until, I don't know, until Predator comes back and we're fighting Team 1000 and all those different things, which could be by the end of the year. So this course, I really especially love it because the reality is, obviously, I told you I'm not the biggest, I'm not the baddest, I'm not the best. I've been in this industry since 2008, and there's plenty of guys on this roster that have been in this game for 20 years. Rick's one of those guys that have been doing this at a higher level for a very long time. So this is where you learn from them. Your Elijah Shaws, your Aaron Maldens, your Christian Wests, these guys that are names that you've heard around the industry. They are all in here teaching you things that the most important thing that they want to contribute to your executive protection development. So that's why we call it the master's class.
So the executive protection master's class is the one course you can take where you can learn from some of the biggest, brightest, the best, most impactful executive protection professionals in our game. I've been in this game for about 15 years. They've been in this game for 20, 30 years. Been on some of the biggest contracts and or have been doing some amazing things in the industry in a very short amount of time. I don't have all the answers, but in training days where I gave you everything that I knew on executive protection, like how to get into the game, all the little cheat codes that I use and that I have on a daily basis. The master's class, you can learn some of those same topics from some of the best in the game. Additionally, it's for people who are looking for a higher level of training. If maybe you're looking at being a detail leader, you're a manager, you're a company owner, you want to get your own PPO, this course is for you. Don't take my word for it. Go to epspecialist.com and scroll down the page. You have previews from every single one of those professionals. Not all of them, but most of them are there, so you can assess the information, see what you think about it. Hey, I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of relationships that can get us all the answers so we can become better protectors together. Take the class, become part of the golden standard, learn from all of us, some of the biggest, some of the best, some of the baddest, some of my mentors, and let's make this industry a better place. Byron Rodgers, protected by nature and by trade. I'll see you guys in the class, and I look forward to you guys joining the Brotherhood.
Boom. So that is the master's class. You can see there all the different professionals that you're going to learn from. Next up, we have Sec 4360s. Boom, route mapping course. And then Rick, if you want to pop in here and let them know what this is all about. Real quick, though, let me just tell you what I think about it real quick, since listen, I remember the first time I came in contact with an executive protection agent who went through this route mapping class. And even I was like, wow. Okay, so these are the skills that you're going to need to be able to operate, that you should actually roll out anytime you're on a detail, right? But this is a higher level of route mapping than the industry is used to. I'm here to tell you that the companies that you're working with generally are not going to understand how to do what you're going to know how to do. So if you're looking for one skill you should understand that's going to make you stand out as an agent on a team, especially a new agent, I'll tell you right now, just ask them. Just say, hey, you guys mind if I just map out the route real quick? And then you do this work that Rick Sweeney is going to teach you how to do in the route mapping course, and you show them and you bring that and you contribute that to the team, give it to, your assistant team leader, make them look good. I'm telling you right now, this course will get you blood into that detail because you're going to be able to make massive contributions that most guys don't know how to do. Hey, Rick, you want to weigh in on this one?
Yep. I'll make it pretty quick. Sorry, I sometimes get long-winded.
That's good stuff.
For those of you who are not in it, I think I see a few of you guys that I know are in this thing already. But for those of you who are not, I don't pretty much only work outside the borders of the U.S. So I'm working in higher threat areas typically. And for that, we needed to not rely on anything with battery and signal. And those two things will screw you in the end. And so we had to have a backup. And this came back from our Iraq days back in 2004 when I hit the ground over there. First thing I asked for was, all right, where's the mapping? Because our clients had a bunch of different venues they had to go to. And I was told, man, there's no good maps of Iraq. And that kind of pissed me off. So I made it my mission to go ahead and map out our routes into sections, putting in all the medical assets, anything that could save us, the safe havens, military bases, no-go zones, all these different things that we didn't have access to when I showed up on this detail, which was already in full swing. And so I found there were maps of Iraq. An NGO happened to have them. So I grabbed everything they could, and I made every single one of our details. We had 2 vehicle details, a whole bunch of them. I made them all map books and kind of showed them how to use them. And that was kind of the start of it. After getting out of there, after a couple of years, went into Mexico and Latin America, and I found out they were really handy there because a lot of the places we were going, signal was bad. You can't just rely on a GPS. It doesn't give you the right vision that you need from an actual hard map book where you can already have alternate routes and things kind of plotted in. And I refined the technique there, and that's pretty much the technique that I have. So now most of the time when we go out on detail, we're cranking these things out. We get them done pretty quick now. You will too. You don't only just sit there and listen into a talking head in my video. That's not what we do. You're getting examples all the way along, and then you actually have to complete 4 different missions, 4 different assignments. And I don't make it easy for you. I'm the only one that grades them. I'm the only one that gives you feedback. So I make sure that final one that you do is corporate boardroom ready. If it's not, I will not. I had a guy trying to knock this thing out for 8 months, the final one. And he probably thought I was the biggest dick in the world because I wasn't passing him, but I kept telling him, you got to do this. You got to do this. And he just wasn't really getting it. But my promise to everybody in that course was, you're not going to get out of this course unless you can go to a corporate boardroom and show this thing. And that's what he ended up getting. And so it's not an easy course, but it's very useful, and you can use it for a lot of different things, not just high risk moves. I had a guy using it on a vacation with his wife. I had a guy in LA on his first job out of school with us. He was working for a pretty well-known company there. And he just asked the individuals he went on advance with, who was one of the owner of the company. He said, can I go ahead and map this out? We always say ask, don't just do it, because then you look like you're pushing something down their throat they might not be doing. So he asked, they said, oh yeah, sure. Brought it back the next day, immediately promoted. And that's just the way it is, because they hadn't seen that before. And it's worthwhile. We give it to you for nothing during the EP specialist course, just because it rounds out that little piece that most people just don't have.
Love it. Love it. And like I said, you guys, I've seen a lot. And when the first student that took his course came through that I had hired for a detail and asked me, he brought that thing back to me. I was like, this guy's coming with me. He still works for me to this day. In fact, he's one of my directors. All right, next up, let's go. Boom.
The Executive Protection Immersion course. With this course, we take a little different approach to teaching agents the art of private security. This course is based on experiential learning. These agents will be out in the field with us, working with us on private security details that are so realistic that they will not even know they are on a training exercise. If you've got new agents that have just joined your company or your team, and you want to know that they know what they're doing when they're out in the field, this is the course to make sure they get the experience that they will need to perform at the highest levels in front of your principals, clients, and stakeholders. If you're an agent that's been in the game and want to learn some different ways of doing the deed, then this is the course that'll give you a chance to try what you do and learn what we do in order to come up with the best security solutions for you and yours. With our hybrid approach to learning, our students will have all the time they need to get up to speed before showing up for the course. But once they get to the course, they will run through a battery of high-speed security operations designed to test them, push them, and also help them prove themselves to themselves. So when they're out in the field, they can operate with confidence and the competence that we require in the private security industry at the level of executive protection. Join us at epspecialist.com and let's take your soft skills to the next level.
Boom. So that is the Executive Protection Immersion course. Massive, massive value. Biggest takeaways about this course is the simple fact that you will have absolute confidence in doing the job, right? So when you step out there, like Rick said, this is not a classroom course. You're going to be given modules before you show up. And then once you get there, we are hitting the ground running. You will start off working in You'll be DTLA, just like we're going to be tomorrow on some details, doing what we do. This is your baptism by fire course. I always joke about this course because I'm always super excited to hang, work, train with you guys. And then about halfway through the course, I'm like, you know what? This is just like another week of work, man. It's like I got swindled into just doing another week of work on my week off, man. But it's fun hanging with you guys. Massive takeaway, like I said, you're gonna know that you know how to do the deed. The detail starts off. I'm left seat, me, Rick, Damien, the instructors. We're left seat, right seat with you. And then as things progress, we're in Overwatch. We're watching you operate, just kind of sliding in, giving you a little cheat codes here and there. And then by the end of the detail, you're running it and we're just throwing pipe bombs in there, just complicating the thing. This detail is, this class is very realistic. We have actual actors, B-list actors and things like that aren't busy, that are going to be in there. You're going to have clients. I think Rick may have had a situation once where he was running this under Sec 4 and people thought it was such a real detail that they like left the course, right? He had to tell them like, this is still just training. They thought it was funny.
Yeah, they thought that we were actually putting the students on a real detail and we were getting paid for it.
So
and I thought, well, I mean, that's a compliment and everything, but holy crap,
Right. So the other massive advantage to this, if you're a guy that's like maybe on a res detail, you want to get into the movement game. If you're a guy that is coming into EP and you realize that when someone puts you in the car with a client, there's going to be a clinch factor there, and you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. It's like going on a first date every single time. This course is going to help with that. And also, if you're looking to get a job and you've come through this course, you can put me down as a reference. You can put us down as references, and your boss can call and ask, hey, how did Jeff do at the Immersion course? And I can tell him, hey, Jeff, I was in the field with Jeff for 4 days, downtown LA, doing different things. Personally, I think he's good at this level. I think he'd be easily a team leader from what we saw out there, or maybe not a team lead, but he'd be a solid movement guy, good to work solo, good to work two-man stuff. And we can have that conversation that I can get that employer the information he needs to feel warm and fuzzy based on the reality that me and you have essentially worked together, right? So I know that that's a huge value add for those who've come through this, and for those who have resumes where they're kind of like, well, geez, I don't have experience, and people want me to have experience before actually hiring me. So the Immersion course is really good for those things if you're trying to break into the game. Next up, we have what seems to be people's personal favorite.
Boom, what up, guys? So the hard skills intensive, we're running one per quarter this year. EP dude, one hard skills intensive per quarter this year. And I'm so excited about it. We have been helping hundreds of agents launch careers that change their lives. One guy sold his truck to get into the course. When he told me about this, it scared the heck out of me. It really did. But then he said he had the best Christmas of his life because he was finally able to afford presents for his family, because we were able to get him in the game working. Just one of the most powerful and amazing and rewarding things that we've been able to do as a brand is help agents launch careers or take their careers to the next level. And the hard skills intensive is such an important part of that. It gets you multiple medical certifications and make you more hireable. It gets you the highest level of driving training available in the United States. It gets you more hireable. It gets you get a full attack on principle package for firearms. It basically beefs up your resume and service training jacket. The reality is, if you were in the military or law enforcement, maybe that was a while ago. Maybe that wasn't, maybe that was a few years ago, and when you were in the military, maybe you didn't learn attack on principle, and you almost definitely really didn't learn how to run your gun properly in an executive protection format. You probably didn't learn much about executive protection centric motorcade operations. You probably did not learn a lot of the medical things around protecting your principles. So the hard skills intensive will make you more marketable. You will also get access to an additional level of students who have graduated from the hard skills intensive who share opportunities because they understand the level of training that people in that group within the league have. That it's powerful. I got people that tell me all the time, hey, all the work that I've found has come from members of the league and other graduates of the hard skills intensive. So it's like super, super cool. And then you get ongoing you get mentorship. I meet with you twice a month over Zoom. You can ask any question you have about your career and about moving, what you need to do next, right? So the value proposition is tremendous. The price point is awesome relative to what you're going to get a career. A lot of guys are doing six-figure careers in one of the most interesting and thriving industries in the world. People are going to college, going in debt for decades to get that. So let's go. If you want it to happen for you, make it happen with the link beneath the screen. We're only running one hard skill intensive per quarter. Get in a payment plan and let's do this thing. Let's make this year the best year of your executive protection career. Byron Rodgers, protected by nature and by trade. Protection is more than just a job, it's a lifestyle. Love you guys. Boom. If you're enjoying this video.
Awesome. So here we are with the hard skills intensive. I think one of the main things and one of the main reasons, and Rick, you can hop in on this and kind of, back me up, give them your thoughts. But I think one of the main reasons I wanted to enter the industry with this course is because there's a lot of, 7-day EP course, week-long EP courses. But the reality is so many of us are working. So many of us are so busy that we don't have time to always to train like we would like to, right? And so the reality is this is that course that you take that gets you your TECC, first aid, AED, medical out of the way. This is the course refresher or gets that established. This is the course that gives you an attack on principle, pistol-centric package, gives you one of, if not the highest level of driving training in the industry, contact driving, motorcade operations. You ram through barricades. We have a roll vehicle simulator, all those different things. So not just the vehicle dynamics, which you're probably used to, which is paintball, cones, how to get 80% of the vehicle's performance out of the vehicle. But we also take you to where you are making contact and you learn how to car fight, right? And so this really, really covers the hard skills. And also it will make it so that your resume makes it so that you are current, no matter what your background is, right? We all, a lot of us have backgrounds. Some of us who don't have backgrounds, this is also a very important course for that. Some of us who do have backgrounds, maybe it was a while ago, that's what I dealt with when I got out of the Marine Corps. I thought I was like the man. And then my civilian buddies started inviting me out to go train. And I quickly learned that, I wasn't the man, and that, some military training is designed to get a lot of people to a baseline of performance rather than to really help you become the tip of the spear if you weren't in any special unit. So this is where we get those skills that you may already have or do not have, and we train you on how to deliver them in an executive protection format. Rick, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said was great. If anybody's on the fence with coming out to this next one, I would recommend the next one in March. I know it's only a couple weeks out, but this is the last time we're actually going to include lodging.
That's big.
Yeah, it's $1,500, guys. If you're going to buy your own lodging, you guys that came out and had your own lodging with us, you knew that, you saw that was a huge benefit. Well, they took those houses away from us and it's not working out. It doesn't look like they're going to get them renovated anytime soon. And so we didn't have Airbnbs really budgeted in. So we don't want to raise the pricing any. So after this last course here, we're going to be giving you recommendations on where to stay, but we're not going to be paying for it. So it's a nice way to save $1,500 by, going to this next course if you can squeeze this one in.
Yeah. Super important. Thanks for mentioning that.
Yep.
Awesome. So here's your investment matrix. Route mapping. Training is at 155. Training days at 995. Master's classes at 2,495. Immersion 4,700, and executive protection hard skills intensive is at 5,950. The total price for the executive protection specialist certificate course, valued at about 14 if you add all that up, is coming in right underneath that. Well, not right underneath there, it's coming in at about 9K. This is a course that is going to set you apart, give you the skills you need for career development, career success, and also give you a doctorate in this industry. We have payment plans and all those things set aside, and I'm not 100% sure how many of these we're going to run this year, but what I can tell you is we do have that one coming up very shortly in just a few weeks, here in about 3 weeks. What was that date again? Actually, it's slipping my mind. But
it's March 14th is when we're kicking off hard skills. We conclude hard skills March 21st, and then we roll right into immersion March 22nd to March 25th.
Awesome. So When you look at the industry, when you look at what time it is, when you look at how things are working, when you look at how things are working in the world, when you look at what we have coming up this year, this is kind of the perfect storm to position yourself in the executive protection industry because of all the different things that are coming. I personally think it's going to be a busy year, but what I do know also is that the last few years, the private security and executive protection industry has been growing. Now, as we get ready to wrap this up, let's get into kind of the different benefits that I've mentioned, right? The trifecta of success with regards to our training. So keep in mind, when you train with us, you're not just going to get a certificate and then hey, good job. We taught you how to do executive protection. You're going to get what I call the trifecta of success, right? So that's training, mentorship, and networking. You get the training, and then you don't have to figure out how to succeed by yourself. Many of the guys on this call know that I meet with them twice a month. I meet with the whole class twice a month and mentor everyone on that is part of the golden standard, right? The networking. When you come to one of these courses, and there's multiple guys on this, I could just call on dudes right now. The networking, you create relationships that you will have probably for the rest of your career and possibly the rest of your life, especially when you come out and do the in-person training. So when you're looking at courses out there in the industry, I highly recommend looking to see what they have that comes close to that trifecta of success. Do you have access to your instructors moving forward after you leave that course so that they can help you with all of the things you're going to deal with as you go on with your career? And do you have access to an actual active network of individuals who are interacting with one another, going to trade shows together, working together, and continuously training? I think some of the dudes in the league right now might even be at an Airbnb having a watch party. It's like that, from what I heard on the way into this call. So access to our global network of specialists, certified agent private network group. This is just letting you guys know that you're going to have more access. You'll see it in the EP Executive Protection Lifestyle platform. You have special groups for students only, for the league members only, where you can pop in there and say, hey, my name's Jeff. I just got my license. I'm in Florida. I just completed these courses. Anyone know of any good companies I should apply for? Is anyone running any good companies? Is anyone a project manager, a regional manager for any of these companies? Because the reality is we've been at this for a few years and we have multiple people in our network now who have started their own companies and are running details and are running. We have one guy who's running the United States for another overseas company. We are gaining more and more authority in the marketplace. Live Q&As twice a month. I come on to a call just like this for our students only to help everyone move through whatever they're dealing with. But also a lot of the things that happen in these calls is we get the progress reports and guys are telling us how they're finding work, how they've achieved their dreams, and thanking us for making these opportunities possible through superior training solutions. So this is huge. You have a question, you're getting ready to go into detail, put it in the group. You'll have 5-10 people answer you with whatever your question was, whether it's the best surveillance kit or the best socks to wear overseas, whatever it is. Someone's got the knowledge and we have the network. Okay, as your mentor, I will always be 100% honest with you. So one of the things that I have absolutely loved about what it is we do is the ability to stay in you guys' lives, because I get to be there for the wins and I get to help you work through the losses. But what you will see as you become an executive protection specialist and as we work together is I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Some guys can handle it, some guys can't, but it's how I maintain integrity with myself, and it's how I remain effective. So there's going to be some tough love. There's going to be some haircuts. There's going to be some weight management plans. There's going to be all the things, and we get to do our careers together, and it's an honor. And we've been able to help guys achieve success. So you'll never have to do your career alone. Finally, does it work? Have we seen the fruit of this? As you guys know, one of the hardest things about putting this presentation together today was literally deciding which videos I was going to share with you, because we have so many highlight reels. I got a 15-minute highlight reel of testimonials and things like that, but it would just be too long, and I don't want to drag you guys through all that. So we have photos here. Another huge benefit is that, ladies and gentlemen, folks that come through the course, man, my platform's your platform. People kind of smile when I say that, but your success is my success, right? As our success, as our school's success, as Rick's success, we get a guy who started a company that came from us. He's going to be hiring from us, right? We got project managers out there that came from us, and knows the quality of what we turn out, they hire from us. It's a real thing. There's some companies you got to go through us in order to get into. It's an actual real thing. So, these are a few students that have come through the course that have achieved success, that you can go and listen to their episodes on my podcast, the most listened to podcast in the executive protection industry right now. We got Sam Jones, my man in the upper left. He's the gingery guy up there, also known as the Iron Goat, started his own company, Iron Goat Protection, man. We're working with them. He's out here in California, taking over the world with me. We got Daniel Coleman. I think he started in this game when he was like in his 60s. I was texting with him this morning. He's out there working like crazy. For those of you guys who are like, am I too old to get into this game? You ain't too old to get in this game, man. Let's go. Let's go. I got the cheat codes. Do what I do, see what I see, and have what I have, right? Vincent Levy, lead protections agent, next over there. You guys are going to see a lot of him, man. He's making huge contributions, and I was just working a detail with him out there in Tennessee. Morgan Harris, he's out there he's out here in Cali with me, running things, working with me, working for multiple companies, killing the game. Let's see, Aaron Kackman, he's now a project manager running the United States for an overseas company. Alex Turner, he's in Texas, dominating the game. And we have Elizabeth Forrester over there. She is also absolutely dominating the game. You can find all these people. This is real. Like, go listen to the podcast, right? They will tell you their experience. They will tell you their story for about an hour straight, because this stuff has seriously helped them and changed their lives. I didn't want to bore you with the highlight reel, so I just decided I would just show you where to go. Your success truly is our success, and it's an honor to be able to be with you guys through those wins and help you get through the sticking points in the industry. So with no further ado, I want to give you guys access to something. If you're looking, I'm going to give you two options here. So if you're looking to get into the executive protection master's class, I'm going to send you a link here in a minute. But just for sitting through this presentation with me, I want to give you guys access to this QR code. My marketing team's probably going to be mad at me, but you guys have a lot of very heavily discounted digital products that you can have access to if you take a quick screenshot of that QR code. So if there are any of the digital products you want to go on ahead and get a discount to, go on ahead and take advantage of that. And then I will also put up here in the chat the actual link to the EP specialist course. And now I'd like to just open up the floor for any questions that anyone may have. I'm gonna leave this up here for a few more seconds, and then I'm going to give you guys access to the link to become an EP specialist. You cannot find this link on the website. So make sure you guys take advantage of it. And if you want to have a conversation with me, there's another link I'll give you as well, and we can hop on some calls. But we have the first course coming up here just in a few weeks. And I want to make sure, does anyone else need to get access to this QR code? You guys all get a gander? Okay, so if you are ready to go on ahead and hop in, the EP specialist links are in the chat. You've got two options. You can schedule a call, or you can go on ahead and hop in to the payment page right there. And it's going to be an honor to train with you guys. So I just put those links up in the chat. Boom. Awesome. So I'm going to open the floor up now. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to bounce off me for the next couple minutes before we bounce, the floor is yours. I'm looking for hands. Okay, Chris.
Hey, man, great job. You got a text from a friend of mine earlier today.
Yeah? Heck yeah.
Bepley.
Bepley? Byron Bepley? Oh, yeah. You guys were talking earlier. Yeah.
I was his medic in Ranger Battalion and down in Florida as well. So I saw your thing today, so I figured I'd hop on tonight. And I'm heading out to ESI coming up on the 24th.
Yeah.
I just saw the dates of yours, man. I wish I would have known. I would have come to that one. But, they take GI Bill out there. So
yep.
And I've already put the down payment down. But I will try to do my best to come to your next one. I think you want to run in October, right?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna pull those dates up again just because I got TBIs. I'm okay, but I'm gonna pull the dates up. Yo.
Roger that.
Yeah, man. So, dude, thank you so much. I mean, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening in. I look forward to training with you. We are in the process of still fighting our way to get that GI Bill stuff up. Getting there. So we're working on that as quickly as we can, man. Totally understand the food factor.
Good. And we also, me and him talked for a while afterwards about you guys are going to try to start either incorporating doing dogs with the executive protection as well. How's that going?
We're talking with him about possibly rolling out it's top secret, man. We're thinking about dog stuff. We're thinking about maybe rolling out some dog stuff.
Because I was talking to Matt out at ESI about bringing mine out there and trying to do a pilot program with them. But
well, maybe just, you got my number, maybe kick around a little bit, kick it around a little bit first,
Hey, man, I'm trying to do some work with you, man. I'm going to come out there seriously. And, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go out there and knock that out just to get the certs and stuff.
Okay.
And, but I've watched all the videos. I've looked at the online stuff. And I really want to look at the TCCC program, what you guys are doing for medical and stuff like that. And, pass on pearls of wisdom. I mean, that's what I did for 18 years. I was SOCM, ended up dive medic as well. So that's kind of my cup of tea. But I don't want to hog. I know other guys probably got questions. I had a couple things that I wrote down questions as far as the course. Is that cool if I run a couple?
Yeah. Let's go. We're here, man. And we already have payment plans up. If you guys are still trying to get in here and I know the money is a thing, so we do have payment plan options.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I should be able to do it. A couple quick ones. I looked at all the testimony and the feedback and stuff like that. What are you getting back as far as your any kind of improvements or things that guys are what feedback are they giving you that they would like to see? What do you need to improve on? What would you guys like to do to make the course better? What are they telling people telling you? So I've seen all the good. Mm-hmm. What are some of the negative feedbacks, if any?
Yeah. Negative feedback. Rick, you got anything on this?
No, not really. I can't say everybody loves the course. Most people do. I think when they don't, it's more of a personality clash than anything else. Nobody can knock our training because there's nothing like it out there. In fact, I was going to tell you, Chris, that when you get done with ESI, it's a good program. It's just a different program. There's going to be a couple things that you wish you would have got. You can come see us and get those things. You don't need you to go through the whole program. But if you want a good driving package, because they don't have one there really, right? You can come and just knock out our 3-day of our program. We'll just let you do the 3-day driving. If you didn't get enough TCCC or you didn't get your cert there, come out and do our 2-day. We just do the AP. We used to do medical provider. We used to do the CLS version, but right now we're on a time crunch, so we have just the AP for the guys going through hard skills. But it's AP on steroids. I don't know if you've seen some of our videos. We're going a little bit above and beyond, right? Right. So just something to consider when you get out of there. You're good on you for getting your certs using your GI Bill. But if there's little pieces you want to fill in, we're here.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks. I wasn't really necessarily saying negative or anything like that. Just has anybody said there are things that they would have liked to have seen or done more of or done less of, kind of an AAR kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Probably, but I can tell you it's probably so rare. I just can't really remember what that might have been. Usually people are on a pretty big high. There's some of the guys in here that have been through the program, but usually that final day you're on a pretty big high. And so I think we hit you with those critiques at the right time. Maybe a couple of days later, you think about something that you wish you would have gotten. We don't usually hear that. Like I said, I've seen a couple personality issues, but that's probably about it. I haven't heard our training getting knocked that I can remember, at least since we've been doing the hard skills. Yeah.
Fantastic. You covered most of everything. One last thing. Have you guys ever done, as far as your medical training is concerned, and when I come down there and do your guys' training, I'm going to do it regardless, one way or another. Have you are you working with any medical sims labs? Or are you doing mannequin work? Are you doing just all moulage? Or
for 10
what
years,
about-
for 10
Go ahead.
years, I was running a 7-week protection academy. I don't know if you heard about us. We were running it out of San Diego. We actually
Okay.
did tissue. We were the only private entity that did tissue labs.
Great. Well, that's what I was
That's
going to ask
all.
about.
I'll just use the word tissue. You're a medic, so you know what that means.
Right. That's what I did for when I first got out for T1G, and
if you worked for T1G in San Diego, I might have set up the spot for you if it was out in Alpine. I was the guy who used to facilitate the.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was me. If you were in the chicken coops hiding from helicopters, that was with me. If you were up on that hill on the plateau on the runway, that was with me. Yeah. I was the guy that facilitated all that for T1G for years. Yeah.
Great. Well, have you guys thought about bringing tissue training to your program?
We're talking about it. It's a little bit more difficult these days. And we're in a different location now. In San Diego, I kind of had it wrapped because I was running it for the government for a while. And now that we're out in Arizona doing it, we kind of poked around a little bit and it wasn't as smooth. And you got to be careful with that, as you know.
Yeah. I've been in touch with some folks. I got a vet on board. I've looked at to the FDA license and all that stuff is concerned, and the USDA and all that other stuff. So, maybe that's something we can collab on.
Yeah. Talk after you get back from ESI. Let's talk.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, man.
I love it. Good stuff, man. Yeah, Rick's, he's lightweight. It's just new to the game. It's just, yeah, man. No, we're so blessed to have him, man. He's a wealth of knowledge. And like I said, you guys, I put my calendar link in the chat as well. If you guys did want to hop on, schedule a call. And then someone just asked me to touch on, and we did get some negative feedback because there are a lot of students here. And when you asked that question, Chris, I was like, man, I can't think of any. And Rick nailed it. We've had some personality conflicts. Most of the time, dudes are walking out of the course and they're like, man, like they're on that high because they just got so much. But the one thing Mo did say, he says he wishes the training was longer. that was which I completely understand, man, because almost everyone is like, yo, I really, really wish that I could have, I just don't want to go home, because you get to focus. Like, this is the hard skills intensive is a hard skills intensive. When you're doing your day and a half, 2 days of driving or medical, you are just driving. Your butt is in the seat. You're getting laps. You're no standing around, no waiting. When it's medical, you're doing medical from sun up to sundown for a few days straight. When it's time to shoot, you're at that range. You're at the shoot houses. You're doing the low light stuff. You're doing it just that. And that's what I love about it. The other question I see in the chat, you guys hit me with your questions. I see them starting to come in, is someone asked me to touch on a new event. I'll send you guys a link to it in the chat as well. This is the EP Expo event, and I'll touch on it real quick. EPX is going to be coming up here May 11th and 12th. It is going to be in San Diego at the Costellas training facility. It's a 60-some-odd thousand square foot facility. We are going to focus on hard skills and soft skills, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be the massive differentiator for this event, is that the first day you can come and compete in the Protector Games, find out where you stack up in the industry for those of you who have the balls to compete. Now, I tried to do an event around competition once, and it was like me and 2 other guys. So for those of you who want to compete, you can come compete day one. If you just want to train, because maybe you've been so busy you haven't had time to train, come to the event. We're going to have some courses, some hip pocket courses going where you can bang out some medical certs, maybe first aid, AED, those different things. We might be able to squeeze a TECC in there. I have to talk to Rick about that. And then we're also going to have some pistol courses, if you need to brush up on your pistol, which we all do always, we're going to have some pretty good instructors there for that. And then for the Protector Games, we have a number of events, medical, shooting. We have 2 shoot houses in there. And then at the end of the first day, we're going to have an amazing mixer. We're all going to hang out and fellowship. The whole premise of this event is networking and relationships. For those in attendance, by the time you get through this 2 days, you're going to be like a family. We're going to train together, sweat together, have fun together. We're going to go to a mixer. The second day, we're going to be in a big auditorium. We're going to learn together. All of the presentations are going to be class led. You guys are going to be asking the questions. So imagine me and Elijah Shaw on the stage. You guys are asking the questions for an hour and a half. Me and Rick Sweeney on stage, and we're just going to have a live podcast where we have a topic, and we're there to serve you guys. We're going to have a resume row where all the major companies are just going to have a booth, and you walk up, you hand your resume over, you do an impromptu interview so that you can get in with all the major companies. We're going to have a pro photo booth. So if you haven't gotten a really good, clean, professional photo, we're going to have a nice backdrop. Get your clean pro photo. There, everyone's contact information will be housed on our platform in a special group so that group of people will always be connected with one another. So the networking will be supercharged. And then the final night, we're going to have a big shindig for everyone where we're going to treat you guys like a bunch of clients, a lot like what I did with the EP forum. So that's going to be that event. I sent you guys a link to it in the chat, so you guys can pop out and check that out as well. And for all the students, this is going to be an amazing place and time for us to link up again, train again. All the students that have come with me to train shows, you guys know the value of that. A lot of you guys, the jobs you have now came from coming with me to trade shows and us walking the floor together. So yeah, man, good question, Mark. EP Expo. Mo wishes the course was longer. That calendar link. Jordan, did you find it? It's right underneath. Okay, Mark gave it to you. Mo said he didn't want to go home.
Yeah, I got it.
You guys are up. Sweet. Any other questions you guys got? Anyone want to chime in with anything?
That event's on the 5th through the 7th next month in San Diego.
The San Diego EPX event is May 11th through the 12th.
Oh, May. Okay, I looked at the calendar. I was supposed to be out there this coming weekend. I had a client in San Diego doing some stuff on the border, but they canceled earlier today. So one last thing, man. I'm sorry. You're a man of God. I am as well. I heard you talk about it earlier. God bless you, my brother in Christ, man. Yep. One of the things that I think about before I get into this is, have you ever run into a client where you just said, you morally object to working for this person because of the atmosphere that you're put in, and you just don't want to be around those kind of demonic or whatever type of things?
Yeah, I've come close. We're having the full conversation. We brought God into it. I've come close, but I've been in some situation where I was like, Father, you got to get me out of here. Me and you both know I don't need to be around this. And he did, gracefully just moved me out of there. And that's a question that a lot of executive protection professionals, you really just have to decide, what you're going to be around and who you're going to operate in and around and with. Some guys take the mercenary approach where it's, hey, I make my money. If my money's green, it is what it is. Other guys, you have that value structure that you're trying to adhere to. So that's a personal decision, 100%. And I respect it, man. But there's a probability you have to make that call. I will tell you one last thing. I have really been happily delighted in seeing that there are a lot of good people now that need protection. So there's some lawyers that are standing up against some powerful entities that we're protecting. There's some doctors that are standing up for things that might not be on the, that might be countercultural, that need some protecting. So I've seen a lot more people that need protection than the usual, and that's been really cool to be a part of, even on the political side. So does that kind of answer your question? Awesome. Okay, I see some payments coming through. Look at these guys, man. Boom. I see some scheduling. Jordan, looking forward to meeting with you. I saw a purchase come through. Russell, welcome. Welcome to the league, man. Took advantage of that link. Some real serious discounts on that link, huh? Okay. Completed training day league message. Huh. I don't quite understand your question, Sean. We're getting ready to wrap this up. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to raise your hand or just speak up. What are your requirements for someone looking to apply for Bravo Research Group? That's situational and detail dependent, Israel. However, coming through the course is the best job interview that exists because I will get to know you by the end of that course. And that is the best way for me to feel you. We'll be like brothers by the end of the course. So that's the best way for us to feel comfortable with you. The other consideration is if you're doing any of this training, remember, Rick is our training director. And he also runs an amazing company doing a lot of really cool things overseas and whatnot. So you'll be getting 2 job interviews for the price of 1 when you come through. Heard my name, but signed out. Okay. Let's see. Katie, for the expo, do we need to bring our own gear? And if so, how will we know what to bring? We'll be sending out gear lists. And also, I have to tell you guys, we'll be sending out gear lists for the expo as we get closer. But we did have issues with that payment gateway the first day we dropped it. So if you purchased a ticket, which like 15 of you did the first day, you got to go back and do it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That Murphy technology got the best of us that day. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Any last minute questions, any saved rounds, fire them off.
How long can you stretch out the payment plan for?
Yo, my man Chris up in here, boy, he getting his time. Chris gonna make the most of this. Yeah, man. So we work with people on the payment plan, if I'm being completely honest. You know, we like to see you to be as paid up as possible before the course. But if you hop on my calendar link, we'll talk about that direct. We work with folks, and but we like to see you as paid up as possible before we kick off, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor and a privilege, and I look forward to training with all of you. Oh, one last thing that I forgot to mention. This is actually a really big thing. For alumni students coming back, we're giving you guys a 10% discount. So take advantage of that. We're going to give you guys a 10% discount coming back here. So keep that in mind. As you guys sign up, reach out to me directly via the email addresses you guys use, and we will get that stuff dialed in. All right, gentlemen, ladies, it is such an honor, such a privilege. I look forward to doing our careers together, and I look forward to being here to sharing your success. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We look forward to training with all you guys. And remember, protection is more than just a job, it's a lifestyle. Y'all know I had to say it. Good night.
Stay safe, brother.
All right. Boom. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Staccato, my first pistol sponsor. I've been sponsored by a lot of companies, right, over the years. But when it comes to pistol, that's my bread and butter. Pistol is something I believe in. You know, I'm a competitive shooter. You know, we're shooting anywhere from, 800 rounds a month type of thing, right? So Staccato, being what I believe, is one of, if not the most complete handguns you can put in your hand. It's got every component that a handgun could have, should have. They're actually extremely dependable now that they've made some changes, and these things are straight up tack drivers. If you're looking for a pistol that will do as much of the work for you as a piece of hardware can, obviously you have to have the marksmanship and all the different things, but different guns perform at different levels. And I want to say that Staccato is one of, by far, for sure, take it from a competitive shooter, we're shooting the highest volumes of rounds constantly right now. Not used to have a background guy, but like right now, when you go shoot, you're gonna see certain brands. Staccato is one of, if not the highest performing firearm that is both CCW, duty ready, and also competitive ready. So I want to give them a shout out. If you guys are looking for a good handgun to build your skills on top of, go check out Staccato. Much love and respect. Boom. When it comes to the technology you use to protect your home, there's nothing better than Deep Sentinel, AI-driven, human-monitored technology that will keep you and your family safe for the same price you're paying for whatever Ring doorbell system you have. Check out Deep Sentinel. It's such an honor to join forces with these guys. They should be in every single house in the world. Get real-time Overwatch for you and your loved one. And for 10% off, depending on when you're watching this, don't forget to use code Byron at checkout. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions.